Greetings and welcome to Kafei and Friends, a podcast where we talk about the latest in everything gaming. I'm joined today by my good friend who works in retail, Globos Heckley. Hey, Globos.
Hello.
So, when it comes to the Switch 2 and a new Mario Kart game, what are you specifically wanting?
Really good couch co-op.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah, for sure. It has to be that.
When you look at all the other systems, it's all, one system, one game per person, and then everybody else has to buy their own system and game, even if you're in the same house. So I love the Switch for that you can still do couch co-op.
That's a big that's a big thing for Nintendo. I feel like that can never leave their repertoire. Couch co-op is what makes them, whether it be Mario Kart or Smash or any of those games. But when it comes to Mario Kart, do you think they're going to do all the new designs? Because we saw Donkey Kong got a bit of a makeover. He looks similar to his Mario movie counterpart. So I'm just wondering if you think maybe we're going to get some of that new skins.
I think we can start to see new skins. I'm hoping Nintendo doesn't go to the DLC route, but yeah, I can start to see like maybe we'll get an 8-bit original Mario and Mario 64, etc. So that'd be interesting.
Do you think that they would go the route where like we get the new Donkey Kong skin and we also get the old one, or they're just like graduating from the old one to the new one, and then the old Mario to like the new Mario-ish sprite?
I would love to think that they're going to give us the options, but I can also see them just straight up just upgrading.
Yeah, and I think that's already been a tad controversial, so I think it's kind of a bit of a wait and see approach when it comes to that. I would love even if it's just a mode, it doesn't have to be the whole game, but a double dash concept where you kind of pick two characters, one's driving, one's throwing the item, like the shells.
I'm going to get a lot of hate on this one, but Double Dash was like my least favorite Mario Kart.
Oh, fair enough. Was it the two character concept, or was it just like other features of it?
I don't know, maybe it's just I didn't play it as much, but it's just my least favorite. I don't think I could say one reason why though.
Well, that's fair. Well, the Wii Mario Kart really took off. That sold a lot of copies, and well, we all know Mario Kart 8 was so successful that they supported that with DLC for quite a few years to come in terms of maps and stuff. And you were saying earlier you wouldn't like DLC, but was that for more characters? Because like I still think it'd be cool if after the original slew of maps they add more for
So,
Mario
okay.
Kart.
DLC, I meant, it's more skins. I'm sick of skin DLC. If they're going to add on more maps, just like they did with the booster pack for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, then I'm all for it. Increase the longevity, but skins I'm tired of.
Oh, that's fair. Um, when it comes to Mario Kart, we know 100% that that's going to be a launch title because that's the one game they showed off in their very brief Switch 2 presentation a couple months back. What other game do you think is maybe not quite 100% of a launch title, but very close, like 80, 85, like it's probably launching with the Switch 2?
Metroid Prime, now that they've announced it, I can totally see that as a simultaneous launch.
As in, it has a Switch 1 version and a Switch 2 version if you like upgrade?
Yeah, um, the game card sharing stuff that they were showing for the digital copies, there was something about Switch 2 versions will not go back to Switch 1, and I can totally see them doing a simultaneous one for this, just like they did with the like Breath of the Wild and a few other games between their generations.
Yeah, I was reading into that, and a lot of people assumed that we're getting a similar concept to like the PS4, PS5 upgrade system. So like maybe you can just pay extra to upgrade your current cartridge to a Switch 2 version, or then again maybe it's just the way we read it. Do you think that that's what they're going to do? Do you think they're going to go that route?
I don't know. I can see Nintendo being like, this is strictly the Switch 1, this is the Switch 2. Because it's cartridge based, I feel like you'd be downloading the entire game and not just doing like an update to update to the next generation.
Yeah, that's fair. It could be pretty beefy too if you start doing upgrades. And I guess we really don't know the storage capacity quite yet on the Switch. So it's just like, yeah, that could get dicey if you're doing a bunch of upgrades. It's like how much space do you have left for other things?
Yeah, and I think we just gotta wait for a lot of the announcements on Wednesday.
Yeah. Speaking of announcements, I know Tears of the Kingdom came out not too long ago, and we did get that version of playable Zelda in yet another title that wasn't quite as mainstream. But I'm wondering if you think we could have a Zelda launch title with the Switch 2, or do you think that's too early?
I feel like it's too soon, though. Nintendo a while ago did say they were working on multiple Zelda stuff. So we know about the TV show or movie, sorry, movie.
Movie for sure.
Um,
They announced that already on the new Nintendo today, but yeah.
and Echoes of Wisdom ended up being another, but they said there was going to be a mainstream Zelda title they were working on, and it would be away from the Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild storyline.
I'm yeah, I know like I had a lot of fun with those, but I'm curious if the Switch 2 is going to be like, okay, we did that and now let's kind of go a different route, like maybe build upon that but not have quite the same fighting style actually is one in particular I like. I would like them to just change the fighting style a little bit, but there are great things that I do hope they carry over when they make another Switch 2 Zelda.
Yeah, I really hope that they do something similar, not necessarily going back to their Dungeon 1 to Dungeon 2 to Dungeon 3 kind of format.
Well, was it Ocarina where you kind of had the one, two, or three dungeons, but then it kind of opened up and there was you could do it in a different order. It was just kind of harder. Or am I thinking
Yeah,
of a different game?
I think you could do a couple things out of order, but for the most part, the next dungeon required the previous dungeon's weapon or
Okay,
item.
bit linear in that sense. Okay, I what would your percentage be for that for a Zelda game that they like announce Wednesday, April 2nd, and just like bam, Zelda coming out Switch 2?
I would say it's a good chance that they're gonna announce a Zelda. Maybe not for day one, but I could see them announcing Zelda.
Could you see them announcing Actually, I could see them announcing even just a brief teaser that's like, hey, here's 30 seconds of like Zelda concept of a new world, and then just be like in development, coming
Yes.
2026 or 2027 or something.
Yeah, Nintendo likes giving us that 10-second video and pissing us off.
Yeah, I'd say Zelda's more 50-50 approach. But if we wanted something that was up higher in like the 85 to 90 percentages, and I know I'm kind of just spitballing here, but we're getting some sort of like 3D Mario launch title because what system doesn't come out with a Mario game? Like what Nintendo system doesn't?
Yeah, and it's been long enough since the last 3D Mario.
I know. Well, what was the recent one? The Wonder actually. Wonder was up for Game of the Year. Uh,
But
they do
not
a different
3D.
approach. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's not 3D. I'm curious how they're gonna alternate between like could we get both a 2D and a 3D actually?
I wouldn't
Or is that
think that they
asking
do
too
it too
much, you think?
close at launch.
Fair enough, fair enough. What do you think of a Galaxy 3? Or is that just like Galaxy is past its time and it's not coming back? They'd make a new one. Because
I can
I'd be down
see.
for that. That was
I could.
popular.
I could definitely see a sequel to one of their other Mario games, whether it's Sunshine 2 or Galaxy 3.
Oh wow. See, Sunshine 2 I feel is a tad more obscure. I feel like a lot of people hated on that game at launch. I didn't, but a lot of people did, and now they look back at it with like nostalgia. So maybe it would kind of work now. I don't know.
Well, I mean, with both of those being in the Mario All Stars, I could see either way.
Oh yes, actually, yeah. Maybe they were just testing the waters, so to speak.
Could very well be. And with the relaunch of the Donkey Kong from the Wii, I could see Donkey Kong having its own like new title. Finally, a new
I
title.
hope so. I hope so. I feel like I feel like we even made videos a couple years back, and every time we're like, oh, you know what would be cool for Nintendo to do? A new Donkey Kong game. And we're not the only people who say that, but it just it hasn't happened. Like, and then whenever they do have something, it's usually like a remaster touch up of a previous one, like a 3DS game, or
Well, this re-release of Donkey Kong Country means that they haven't forgotten about Donkey Kong.
Yes, I mean that's good. I just I guess I'm saying that with bated breath because I think a lot of people were like, oh, okay, cool, we'll take it. But I guess you're right. Maybe their other one is still in development because I loved. Wait, was it Tropical Freeze that was like the last big one that they made for a new console? Because I thoroughly enjoyed that, and again with the couch co-op.
Yeah, first released on the Wii U, brought to the Switch.
Ah, yes, okay, yeah, that was. Oh, I had a lot of fun on that. I even think I played that on the Wii U, and
Yes, we
didn't play
definitely
too many
played that
games
one.
on the Wii U. Yeah. Oh, the Wii U actually makes me. What type of launch title do you think the Switch 2 is going to have in terms of 1-2 Switch, Nintendo Land, Wii Sports, that line of like something possibly bundled with the game slash showing off the new hardware slash features.
Sports would definitely be a big one because I mean that was one of the biggest sellers on the Wii. Period. And when they brought it to the Wii U with the Wii and Wii U with the what was the sequel to that?
Wii Sports Resort, or
Yeah,
I think there was
Resort.
even a third one.
No, Resort was the next one, and then the Switch Sports.
Okay, yeah. Actually, Wii Sports Resort was on the Wii. That
It was on the Wii.
yeah, they added the plus or like the attachment before it was built in. I remember that.
Yeah, Wii Motion Plus.
But like that would be cool. But I'm just like, do you think that they would do one of those same games, or like I was kind of more as much as I love Nintendo Land, the concept of Nintendo Land was fun, and I love playing that with players. But I'm just curious if like we get an all new type of title, do you think that they like just bundle it with the console, or do you think we're past that? Like, do you think they're just like, no, buy the whatever $60-$80 game depending on your country, and we're not doing that?
I would think it would be really smart of them to give a game like that. I mean, PlayStation it with Astrobot, so why not? They should have some sort of demo title to go with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that type of title like sells systems for sure. Um, Other than Smash Brothers, I don't know what game I would have played on the Wii U more than Nintendo Land. Come to think of it, because there was a lot of stuff to do solo, a lot of stuff to do co-op, and there's like 8 different worlds, and it's like you jump into either the Zelda, the Pikmin, like it was cool.
You forgot. You played the crap out of Zombieland or Zombie U.
Ah, yes, Zombie U. Yeah. Although that game did end up coming to the PS4, PS5, which was something I never thought would happen. I thought that was like the controls were just kind of made for the Wii U at that point, but
Oh, definitely with the gamepad and everything. That was just it just worked properly on there.
for sure, for sure. Actually, and speaking of like functions and well, not quite novelty things, but it is almost confirmed based on patents, leaks, etc., that there is some sort of mouse slash cursor ability with the Switch 2. I want to know what your thoughts are on that.
Well, even just the reveal trailer, they showed the mouse. You turn the Joy-Con sideways. So does that mean we're gonna have a web browser or oh, what was that? Mario Paint. We're gonna get a Mario Paint finally with the fly swatting game. That would be amazing.
A Mario Paint would certainly be interesting. There's definitely been, I think, a few games dropped as to that, and yeah, they did show the cursor like going around. I just wonder the comfort level. Like my hand on the Joy-Con, am I gonna have to like put another attachment on it to the side to make it more comfy? Like I don't know. I'm just is it practical? I guess is the best question because like I'm sure they tested it, but it's just in my mind I can't think of a practical way I'm gonna break out the mouse and cursor.
Civilization, real-time strategy games.
So kind of like a PC game.
Yeah,
attachment almost.
yeah.
Okay.
And it could end up being when we get stuff like Call of Duty on there, people use it as a mouse.
Actually, games like I think Splatoon would be way better with mouse aiming.
Yeah, and that's how they get away from the motion control for moving your camera, and now you have the mouse.
Ooh, okay.
And not
Yeah.
to say that
No.
they're going to get rid of motion control, because that's clearly part of it. Just a different way of using motion control with having a mouse.
Well, yeah. Like they give you the either or option, so that way, like nobody has an advantage over the other player, but like you can choose your controller set.
Yeah.
That would make sense. And actually, you know what game screams mouse slash cursor? Now that I think about it,
What?
Super Mario Maker 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be easier to use a mouse than using a grid system.
For sure. Yeah, I think that would really like I don't it would just be easier to click on the icons and just build the level and kind of like from your concept in your head, I think. Could that be a launch title actually?
It's possible. Who knows? Maybe that's the game that come with it. Mario Paint with the with the Fly Swat game or whatever else they want to decide to add in there.
Well, I feel like Mario Maker 2 is quite came out quite a few years back now. Like if they
Mario
really
Maker
want to,
3, yeah.
yeah, no, that would work. Um,
I don't I don't know if Mario Maker 3 would be with the console, but that could be a launch title, and that's where they show off the mouse the most.
it definitely would not be bundled with the console. You're right. It's not the Nintendo land of the Switch 2, but yeah, it would definitely be a great game for them to be like, hey, this is what the cursor can do, and word of mouth is big. So like if it catches on early, or Splatoon, like if it catches on early, more people are gonna buy it. Not that I don't think people aren't gonna buy it. Like let's be real, the Switch 2 is gonna sell out the moment the pre-orders go live. Like
Yeah, I've already been told people are camping my store Wednesday morning.
oh, probably. Just actually, that does not surprise me. Watch the direct on their phones or on their Switch, and then just hop inside, hoping the pre-orders are live.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow, that that's going to be quite the busy day. But yeah, no, that's what's going to happen. Well, I think so. There are some rumors that they're pushing it back specifically a week to avoid that madness, April 9th, which is a week after April 2nd. But I guess we'll see. We don't really know till the end of the video.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's not Wednesday.
Yeah, I do you think okay. Do you think a new Smash is possible? Because I know what was it? 2021 was when Sora was added to Smash because it was before the 20th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts in 2022. So, and Sakurai basically went into like a semi-retirement, and now that he's kind of like come out, he kind of like stopped making his YouTube videos. But before he did, he's like, "Oh, I'm working on another game." And of course, no, it doesn't have to be Smash Brothers. Like it could be like Kid Icarus or something like that. But do you think it could be? Like, do you think a Smash is realistic? Because what's a new console without a Smash Brothers? Like, I don't know.
The only thing I think they would do if they do bring Step Smash to it is that maybe another 10 characters, more levels, maybe increase the amount of players,
Are
8
you
to 12.
serious? Like more character? That's not the route that I thought. Whoa.
Like just basically another season pass worth.
I
And
mean, I
then
take it. Don't get me wrong.
maybe add another game mode, like another like whole single player mode.
Yeah, they definitely need another game mode. Something. I love watching those cutscenes on the Wii. Uh, like seeing like Sonic and them run and like even the opening for like the World of Light for the
Hmm.
Switch. Like I want more interactions like that, but at the same time, uh, Sakurai once alluded to a potentially smaller roster if he was to make a new Smash. Now this was years ago, So it could have just been him spitballing at the time. But it's just, I would love to think that they have all, I think it's 85, 80 something characters. But I don't know if it's feasible.
I could see them doing another Smash and yes, dumbing it back down to a core set. Maybe not, the 8 or 10 or whatever it was from the original, but knocking it down to half or maybe even 20.
Get rid of the Echo Fighters, perhaps.
Yeah, make it just like the core characters without repeating characters. Like no Fox, Falco, and Wolf.
No Peach and Daisy.
Yeah. If you're gonna do Peach and Daisy, it's alternate skins for the same character.
No Dr. Mario and Mario, I guess.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's a point to it.
But what would you do with like Link, Young Link, and Toon Link? Because yes, it's a lot of links, but I feel like they're all distinct enough.
Yes and no. I don't know. I think it would just be more the outfit skin, not necessarily the overall kind of play style.
Because I think if you did a lot of reducing from that aspect, you could make some room. And it's not even that I want to. Like I would love for them to just add to the roster, but that would be interesting.
Or if they decide to dumb it down, it's the most recent version of each character. So like Link would be the Tears of the Kingdom Link. So we would get his new abilities from that. We'd see Mario from the Mario movie. Or even Mario Wonder, if we keep it in the gaming style. So he'd have his elephant move and all the new abilities that he got from that. And who knows, maybe we can upgrade him by giving him his badges too, depending on how we want him to play. So that could be a different way of doing it too.
Actually, that would be interesting. Maybe they don't go for a bigger is better mindset, and they go for like why don't we
Customizable.
change? Yeah, customizable. Oh, customizable, or like why don't we just change their move set to the newest? So, like you said, Breath of the Wild, Mario is a bit moves are changed, like depending on the newest kind of entry of the series.
Hmm. But for Link Link, you could have different styles of bombs that you can customize them with. Maybe you use what was that one called? The bomb chew, the one that actually moves, or you have his magic bomb, the circle or squares. So before a fight, you can customize how you want Link to play. Just
That's sort of like
customizability.
the Mii Fighter, kind of.
Yeah, but it still keeps it within their character. So it's not going too crazy, but still customizable for their character.
Ooh, that would be intriguing.
I feel like there'd be a lot of setup.
Well, what characters you think they add? Because I mean, if there is a new Smash, they're going to add some new characters. Maybe they'll take away some, but they'll add some. So what are you thinking? First name comes to mind.
Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, like they'll
No,
keep a
new
lot of the
new new
core.
person, new person. Like,
I don't know if they'd really. I don't know if they'd add new people.
oh,
They probably have to. I'm trying to think of what games that have been out that they could steal from to do that.
uh, I feel like they could just go for different representation across different franchises. Like Master Chief, they want Halo. Maybe there's a new Halo game coming out, and they kind of coincide that.
Well, I mean, there's talks of Halo joining the PlayStation roster, so it doesn't necessarily need to be a new Halo. Just to represent that. Hey, look, we're releasing Halo again.
Yeah, just a refresher in people's minds. Um, Everybody screams for Waluigi. Um, although
Well,
at this point
it's
he's become
becoming a
such of a
meme.
meme.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. Like I I don't even know if people actually want Waluigi in or if they're just like, oh no, Waluigi got left out and so we need him. Like I don't actually know if they want him. I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
Or it ends up being we have Mario with an alternate skin of Wario, Luigi with an alternate skin of Waluigi. So I mean, it really depends.
That'd be cool. Although I
The play
actually
styles would be way
play
different,
Wario
though.
way more than Mario personally.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think if they did that, the move sets would be different. So it would be basically just other characters.
fair enough. Um, we were talking earlier about a Splatoon game. I think it may actually be time for a Splatoon 4. Like, out of all the games that we talked about, besides maybe Mario Kart, I think Splatoon 4 stands the best chance of being a launch title.
There's a lot of forgotten titles that I'd like to see come back, though. I mean, yes, Splatoon does make sense for another one, but you know, it's been long enough for a Star Fox or F Zero for them to do another attempt at reviving those series.
I would certainly be down for that, as I think would most Nintendo fans, but I I don't know. I just have a hard time believing that. It would be one at a time, actually, if that was the case, because I feel like
Yeah.
they brought back Star Fox on what was it, the Wii U, and they even had two games bundled in one, and it did not sell well, unfortunately.
Yep, but what they keep trying to reinvent Star Fox with, ground vehicles and running around as an action adventure, whereas they just need to go back to their roots and keep it as like a flying game. Just you're in your ship, that's it. Just explore, have fun. It's like a rail shooter basically. Just keep it to its roots.
I agree. It makes me wonder if they know quite how to adapt that, like because Metroid, they were able to adapt that, like from their kind of older versions to a successful, like newer Metroid game and Metroid Dread, and people went for it. It's just, can they do the same? Can they replicate that?
Well, all they have to do is look at games like Star Wars Squadrons and stuff like that to see how current flying games are being done. And they already have the idea of how they do Star Fox. It's just a matter of if they can translate it to current day stuff.
I hope so. It would be very cool to play a Star Fox game, especially on the Switch too. But what do you think an F Zero game would look like? I don't know if that's
Uh,
even.
Futuristic Mario Kart.
How many F Zero titles have there been? Like,
Oh
surely it's
God,
been
I
more
don't
than
know.
just the one, or was it just? Hmm.
There's definitely a couple.
Because I feel like it's very forgot. Like it was early on because Captain Falcon was released like super early, but now it's just you never hear about it. Like that's one of the forgotten series, like you stated earlier.
Yeah, there's at least four, with probably more spin-offs.
Oh, okay. I'm assuming you just went for the Google.
No,
No, that's fair. That's fair. Um, uh, yeah, that would be cool. I don't know if that would necessarily be a launch title or be like, hey, this could potentially be in development. But
looks like there's about a dozen games.
wait, a dozen?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there goes my Nintendo knowledge. Crazy, like a dozen F Zero games.
Yep. Free download for F-Zero 99 released in 2023.
Oh, okay. I guess. Well, I don't know if we're counting DLC as games, but either way, it's still way more than I thought.
A 99 player online battle royale reused assets from the 1990 game. That's interesting. Okay.
Um, well, do you think the Switch should be able to play newer games, or actually even older games? So I'm gonna name two. Switch 2 will be able to play them. One, I hope it should. FF7 Rebirth and potentially Part 3, and then GTA 6.
I can see Final Fantasy being on there for sure. GTA, I feel like it would have to be a dumbed down version for it to work on there.
Yeah, I feel like that's the general consensus.
We might get another release for GTA 5.
I just hope we're underestimating Nintendo. Like, I'm not gonna expect great things, but I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll get a bit of a roster of games on Wednesday, so we shall see.
Well, we know the Switch is backwards compatibility. for just about every game except maybe games like 1 to 2 Switch because that has the infrared technology. So there might be like a handful of 5 or 6 that don't work. Um, I'm curious what you thought of a patent that basically says you can play the Switch 2 upside down. Literally what it sounds like. Like you can
Yeah,
just
it
flip it
it
upside
looks
down and
like
play it.
it looks like it's going to be set up like a tablet. So if you turn the screen, it follows you, so you can reset it to whichever way you want. The interesting thing that I've seen online a couple times, which don't know if it's real, but the ability to attach a second screen to the top of it to turn it into a DS, basically.
Yeah, I don't know if that's real though. I think people are just nostalgic, right? Like, because how do they sell things like that? Like, is it just
Well,
like
there's a
you need to buy the
USB-C on
screen
both
to play this?
sides.
But is it like you need to buy the screen to play this game? Like, or is it going to start getting into that? Because then I feel like that's dicey right off the bat in terms of selling things to the average consumer.
Uh, it would probably end up being an add-on, but it would be a potential functionality that would expand a game, not
It would be
necessarily
cool.
required.
Yeah, no, I would like it. Uh, there's like honestly, I thought that the Wii U was very cool in that regard. It's just apparently it was hard to program for, and a lot of people just didn't bother. Like they're and if that's your main feature in it, what are you gonna do if people aren't developing for it? Like it would be cool if used properly. I do think
Hmm.
so. As for the flipping it upside down, I'm not really sure. Other than Wario games and possibly making charging easier, what like plugging in your charge cable. I'm not really sure otherwise what you would do with it,
Well,
but
well, it gives you a second charge port too, because you have a USB-C on both sides.
oh, wait, really?
Yeah, there's a USB. Well, it looks like there's a USB-C on the top and the bottom,
Oh, cool. I'm gonna have to double check that. That would be cool if that was the case,
and that's
because
how the second screen would plug in.
the current Switch has it from the bottom, right? So like if you had it plugged
Yep.
into the wall, yeah, yeah, it would be better if it was coming. Yeah, okay, no, that's interesting. Well, oh, go ahead.
A lot of issues that have come up has been you have the charge port or your headset jack on the bottom of your controller system, and when you go to rest it on you, you bend the cable and damage your port or damage your headset or damage your charger. So having it on the top too just kind of gives you the extra spot. Save your system.
No, that's fair. I mean, and I guess it's more options are better, right? Like you can't complain if they're giving you options.
Yeah.
And speaking of more options, we now know for sure, although pretty well people knew forever ago, there's a C button on one of the Joy Cons. What do you think the C button is for?
Knowing Nintendo, it's the capture button instead of like a share button this time.
But didn't they have no? Didn't they have both?
Yeah, I just don't know what they use the C button for.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are saying it could be chat, but I don't feel like Nintendo wants to integrate a chat system right into the controller, and um, especially with some younger people who may play. Like, I feel like they don't want to go down that route necessarily. But
Just the pictures I've seen, it just looks like it's an awkward spot below the home button. Like it's it's out of the way, so it's not something you want to press.
yeah, it's not something you normally would be using in a during a game, like during gameplay. Your thumb doesn't
Hmm.
gravitate towards that naturally. Yeah,
So unless
I'm
it's more
really
designed as another
curious.
mouse button.
Or do you think that just goes into cursor mode? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe you just hit that, and whatever game you're in, it's like, here's our cursor mode.
That could easily be it too, yeah.
I mean, just a thought. Like maybe people are overthinking it, and that's just the simple. Because that might be the gimmick, and whatever game is bundled with probably going to have some sort of mouse function. So
Mario Paint.
it's not going to be Mario Paint. Um,
Aren't you gonna look silly when they announce Mario Paint?
I mean, I guess so.
Can you get another disc?
Well, I did not have to do that for Sora and Smash, and I do not intend to do that again. What about actually? You should know because you're in retail. What's the current Switch retailing for?
Canadian, it's either 400 or 450, depending on which model.
Like the OLED is 450, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I I'm thinking 550 Canadian. I'm not sure how much that is American. That might be like 425.
I mean, I guess it depends where it's coming from right now with tariffs. But let's not get into politics.
Well, yeah, but it could be more pricier than we expect. But because actually, Nintendo doesn't sell their consoles at a loss. A lot of other like gaming companies do, but they don't. So I'm just interested to see, like, because we don't know what all the tech in it is ultimately going to cost. So like
It's it's still pretty close to loss.
well, I mean, I guess just do you think though, like, what do you think, American and Canadian?
I think it could be anywhere from 500 to 600
American or Canadian?
Canadian. But with all the new tariffs, US could be the exact same price.
That's something I had not considered.
Because they've put some heavy tariffs on China, so anything coming out of there is going to be stupid expensive.
Well, yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see the breakdown between the different countries, because they always have like your like Canada
Yep.
and all that. So I'm curious if when we do the breakdown, they actually translate correctly when you like break down the currency. Is it like this American is equal to this Canadian, or have they like already factored stuff like that into the price,
Well,
and it won't
I
be?
was I was talking to a customer about the price on it, and usually our price is very close to the European price, which, from what I heard, was something around 500.
Yeah, I still
So
want to think 550. I would love 500 Canadian, but 550 is what I would
no,
think.
I would love 300.
I'd love if they gave it to me for free, but then they wouldn't be in business, would they?
I mean, depends if you're a tester or not.
um,
Reviewer, you could get something.
well, I suppose. Uh, You think? What do you think the release date is then? Because if we're guessing price, so I personally think it's summer, like or before, like June. School ends for the kids.
I mean, my original prediction was May, but we're getting way too close. So, end of June, mid June, maybe around the 20th.
Yeah, that's actually totally around where I expect it. Like right when school's ending, one of the best times. I don't know if they could actually do it at a really better time and generate the hype. Although, well, it's going to be a lot of hype. Let's let's be real. It's Nintendo. It's a new console. This does not happen very often. In fact, I was looking the other day. There's like entire generations of people whose only exposure to Nintendo has been like the Switch.
So, I have one other curveball to throw at this one. I found a release date for Metroid Prime guidebook, or sorry, art book, for July 31st, which is a Thursday, and that could be real because there's a lot of Thursday, Friday releases lately.
But that would be for the Metroid Prime 4 specifically, right? Or are you
If
thinking that
if
that's the
Metroid's a day
same
one,
date? Oh, hey, that could be intriguing.
mm-hmm.
I don't know if they want to hold off quite that late, but I mean, if they, it, it would be interesting. Oof.
Midsummer.
It's still in the summer, and then there's still all of August, like, to play for
Mm-hmm.
sure. All right. Well, one last question before we head out. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think this is finally the Nintendo console that has achievements?
I can see them doing it.
You hope or you think it will happen?
I think it could happen.
I I hope, but I actually don't think so. I think Nintendo still wants to go for the like really friendly, non-competitive approach, and I think in their mind, adding achievements slash trophies would kind of minimize that slash ruin that.
And I still have one other thing to bring up that we haven't talked about.
Oh, shoot.
I feel like they're going to announce a different title for the Switch 2. It's not actually going to be called the Switch 2.
No, 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 no. I
They're going
thought
to
that
announce it.
before, but
They're going to announce everything that they're going to announce, and at the end of it, they're going to have the Switch 2 title merge into whatever the new title is. Because Switch 2 just feels like such a placeholder name.
I no, I was on board with you like a few months ago until they showed the trailer. But they've actually started doing like marketing now. They own 10% of some like sports team, and that sports team had the Nintendo Switch 2 logo on their sleeve. Like they've been advertising it. I don't think they go through all that shenanigans just to be like, by the way, it's actually the Super Nintendo's. Like I would can, but I think it's too late. I think that ship has sailed. No.
No, I still think they could do it. We we have temporary posters up to show off the Switch 2 and First to Know list, and I can totally see them sending us another one for Wednesday to be like, okay, switch this up.
Oh no. Hey, I mean, maybe I'll be eating my, but that's a prediction. That's all I'll say. That's that's a prediction. You've been listening to Kafei and Friends, and stay tuned next time where we'll talk about everything we know about the Switch 2. All right, have a great day, and remember, happy gaming.